basketball showcase in the country, the HoopHall Classic in Springfield, Massachusetts. And we've got a dandy on our hands with the Norcross Blue Devils from Georgia and the Roselle Catholic New Jersey Lions. With ESPN National Recruiting Director Paul Biancardi, I'm Joe Torti. And Paul, you take a look at Norcross's side. They're led by B.J. Boston, who is a tremendous swing player. And on the flip side for Roselle Catholic, we'll be keeping our eyes on Khalil Whitney.
Well, Whitney is a versatile scorer. He's headed to Big Blue Nation. I love the way he gets buckets inside the arc. He can take a broken play, turn it into a basket. He's an isolation player. His three-point range has improved. He's exciting and one to watch.
I mentioned B.J. Boston, who's generating a ton of interest as well. Duke, Kansas, Kentucky, North Carolina, all interested.
Put them all in the mix for this extra long, bouncy wing. Excels in transition. He's really improved. His confidence level is at an all-time high.
Paul, these two teams traditionally powerhouse programs at the high school level. Roselle Catholic from New Jersey, and they will control the tip, but it goes out of bounds to Norcross, and they'll possess first.
Joe, two giants in the high school game. Norcross, 7A, the largest classification in the state of Georgia. They last won a state championship in 2013, and Roselle Catholic, they win state champions, and they also are the tournament of champion winners in New Jersey. Two high-level head coaches as well.
See Roselle Catholic nationally ranked number 11, and Norcross opens up the scoring with a J from Kyle Sturdivant.
Sturdivant is headed to USC to play for Andy Enfield, the top 5 recruited class, solid and steady at the point.
For Roselle Catholic, they can get it done a lot of ways. This kickball is called on Issa Muhammad. We mentioned Khalil Whitney, one of the crown jewels here of this entire tournament.
You talk about Whitney and Tyrese Maxey headed to Kentucky next year. John Calipari's going to have some offensive firepower.
Speaking of firepower, there's Khalil Whitney to start things off, number 10 on the ESPN 100.
And it's scary, Joe, because he's 6'7", so good inside the arc and at the rim. Now the three-point shot is there.
Muhammad on the other end, able to scoop and score. As you watch Whitney, what makes him so good and what makes him so attractive to teams?
It's the positional size, 6'7". The athleticism is high-end, and the scoring touch. He'll take you in the paint. He'll knock it down from 2, and now he's respectable from 3.
He's got the ball now, barrels down the lane, and the offensive follow won't go either for Roselle Catholic, but a foul called as Cliff Omayori was unable to get that one to fall.
You can take Khalil Whitney, number 2 in the white. You can put him on the wing. You can put him at the elbows. You can post him up. And that versatility makes him hard to guard. And he's a gym rat. He's a workaholic, head coach Dave Boff told me today. Just constantly working on his game. It could be a 9 a.m. practice on a Sunday or a 7 p.m. game on a Friday. He's showing up.
Speaking of showing up, there's B.J. Boston stepping outside with some serious range.
I just watched B.J. Boston at the Chick-fil-A tournament back in December. He's got wiggle in his bounce. A beautiful three-point shot. He's got to learn how to stay on his feet.
Got caught in the air that time.
But a growing player, a blossoming player, and he's number 15 in the junior class.
Colby Rogers with that last bucket. Muhammad muscles his way into the paint, no dice. Extra possession. Murphy, extra pass, and a triple launched and drilled by Sturdivant.
That's what Sturdivant can do. The open 3, the simple assist. He gets down and defends.
Boston with the steal. And a foul to prevent the bucket.
The thing about Sturdivant, 3 in the blue. 4-year starter. He's the rock of the program. He's the guy that they can depend on. He's the leader both in the locker room and on the court.
He's got the ball out of bounds right now. Boston, tough pass. Whitney in transition. He's the player to watch. One of many from Roselle, and there's a flush from Omayori. He's another one who's garnering a lot of attention.
A number 60 in our ESPN 60. So he just made the cut as one of the top juniors in our rankings.
Sturdivant, a good find inside, and Muhammad makes no mistake.
Issa Muhammad, he's got offers from Wake Forest, Iowa State, Maryland. He's a rebound and rim guy. He stays in his lane. He does it well.
Whitney nearly has it poked away by Boston. pull-up.
That's the best part of his game right there, the pull-up.
There's Boston in transition.
Great matchup right there.
Challenge shot by Whitney results in the miss.
You're looking at Whitney and Boston, 2 top 15 players in their respective class.
Richie Greaves' pass goes awry. You look at Boston, you talk about range, both in terms of his length and athleticism, but also stepping outside.
He is rangy. He's the #1 player in the state of Georgia in his class.
Extra pass, and Sturdivant finishes at the cup. And a timeout call. Norcross off to a hot start, 14-6 the lead, and they're getting a lot of it done, Paul, in the transition game.
Well, that's where this team is best. They're so talented. They can score in the half court with Boston, Sturdivant, but if they get a steal or on a missed shot, they love to push it and go. They don't hesitate. They don't walk it up the floor. They push it up the floor. We saw the versatility of Brandon Boston. 6'7", became a playmaker on that situation. Beautiful give up. You know, a lot of guys, Joe, at a young age, they'll keep the ball in their hands thinking they have to score. Brandon Boston made the right play.
He's a big-time player for Jesse McMillan's side. Norcross state runner-ups each of the last 2 years. McMillan's program continuing to be on the rise.
And Coach McMillan has been a part of 5 state championships at Norcross, 2 as a head coach. Just a class act and a heck of a coach. He played at Mercer, so he really understands the game.
Whitney has his reverse blocked by Muhammad. It'll stay here. Meanwhile, buckets have just been hard to come by for Roselle Catholic in the early going. And they still are. Boston ahead of the pack. Rises.
But how about the pass from Sturdivant? As soon as it touches his hands, he gets rid of it. Beautiful throw-ahead dime.
The lead is 10 for Norcross. Whitney, there's that pull-up you were talking about, Paul. Somehow stays out.
He's great at the pull-up.
It's been all Norcross early on. And Brandon Boston, we talked about his transition abilities, able to get out ahead of the pack off the missed shot. Norcross, you know they want to run. Boston knows exactly what to do with it. Here's another look, up close and personal. BJ Boston. Norcross all over Roselle Catholic in the first quarter, 16-6. And the Blue Devils, Paul Biancardi, very hot from the left side there. 2 for 2 from 3. Our zone chart powered by Shot Tracker.
That tells me stay on the left side of the floor.
Greaves unable to convert the teardrop, but another chance for the Lions.
It's really great as a high school team or any team to know where you're scoring from and where you're scoring best.
No doubt. Point blank miss, though, for Omayori. It's tough to find baskets for Roselle Catholic. Leaner won't fall for Sturdivant either, and it'll go down. Hard-nosed defense in the early going.
When you look at the rosters of these two teams, there are 10 Division I players in this game. And I count 4 high major players. That's a lot of talent in one game.
Whitney's one of those. He's got the ball right now. And there's that jab step back.
It's right there. It's right there. It's at the front of the rim. Now it's just got to go a little bit higher.
Pierre-Louis can't convert either. And now it's Norcross getting fouled on the transition attempt. Caleb Murphy getting bumped. Goes against Colby Rogers.
Coach Boff for Roselle Catholic, undefeated coming into this game at 14-0. You know, great stat. The Tournament of Champions is the best teams from the state of New Jersey that win state championships. Watch out for this.
Pierre-Louis, up and down.
I'll finish my story after the table stops shaking. What a dunk by Louis. But the Tournament of Champions, they take the 6 state champions in the state of New Jersey. They play for what's called the Tournament of Champions. Bobby Hurley has won the most. Kevin Boyle, second most. David Boff in third. That's good company.
Absolutely. Nice high finish at the rim on the other side for Norcross and Caleb Murphy.
When I mentioned those high major players, I see Caleb Murphy as one of those as a junior.
Here's another look At the thunder delivered from Josh Pierre-Louis. UNLV commit comes up with the steal and the transition.
He gets his hands on it and he knows right where to go. He went in a straight line path right to the rim, showing the folks out west, I got a little punch to my game.
There's a long three and drilled from Sturdivant. USC's getting a good one.
And Sturdivant was a one-time ESPN 100 player, borderline guy, in and out of the rankings, but you can see his steady hand and his confidence as a senior. An excellent player. We have him graded as a 4-star guy.
Now inside, Omayori absorbs a lot of contact, and he'll head to the free throw line. You mentioned number 60 in the ESPN 60, just made the cut. Foul called on Sturdivant.
He makes the cut because of his physical attributes at 6'10", long arms, great athlete, and he plays to what his strength is. Runs to the rim, deep post up, tries to work on the glass. Very effective inside finishing offensively. Oh,
Pierre-Louis
nice.
keeps it alive and finishes. Nice hustle play.
Yeah, Brandon Boston that time. For Norcross, just not alert. And that's the senior taking it away from the junior.
10-point lead for Norcross. Boston thought about pulling the trigger on that one. Murphy has his pass picked away. Pierre-Louis settling it down. Omayori going to work. Too easy.
But when he adds that to his game, and Dave Boff told me this afternoon, he gets deep position. His footwork is improving. He's a tremendous target to throw it to. Big improvement right there for the big fella.
Corner answer. Off the back heel, and here comes Roselle Catholic. Pierre-Louis again absorbs the contact, and he'll head to the free throw line. He's turned into an electric player, Pierre-Louis, in the transition game. Second foul called on Sturdivant as well, so that's a big spot in this game with a minute left in the first quarter. In and out.
Roselle Catholic, when they go inside, a big fella, one dribble to the middle. That's a beautiful left-handed drop step at 6'10". If he gets a little lower, a little wider, he can dunk that next time.
1 for 2 from the line for Pierre-Louis. Norcross has seen their lead drip down to 7, and it might get worse here as Whitney with the steal.
Yeah, Boston soft on that pass.
Whitney all the way in. Muscles it into the hoop. Are you kidding me? Tough move, Whitney.
He'll beat you going left, he'll beat you going right, and that's a great sign of an offensive player. Can beat you either way.
Little wiggle to Caleb Murphy as well.
I like that young man, too, in the blue.
Boston, a finger roll. Eat your heart out, George Gervin.
Gonna say shades of George Gervin. He's right next door at the Hall of Fame, too, George Gervin. Woo, that finger roll is long.
Seven-point lead for Norcross. Omayori. A foul called underneath with 4.8 seconds to go.
$11 in the white. He creates fouls, Omayori.
Big body down there, for sure.
He creates contact, he makes contact, he maintains it, and then he demands the ball. Much improving big man.
Whitney, a jab step triple. Follow won't go, and the first quarter ends with a 23-16 lead for Norcross. Well, athleticism on display here at the HoopHall Classic. Teams getting out and running. BJ Boston playing above the rim. Pierre-Louis on the other side for Roselle Catholic, saying, I can do that too. Second quarter just about to begin as Norcross with a 23-16 lead over Roselle Catholic, with Paul Biancardi, Joe Torti here with you. Take a look, Paul, at the stats comparison. 71% from the field for Norcross.
Yeah, Roselle Catholic has to do a better job just getting back in defense and also guarding the three-point line. Norcross, 75%. They're 3 for 4 behind the arc. When
Pretty impressive from Pierre-Louis there as he's able to get that leaner through the contact.
One other number that stands out, Roselle Catholic has 7 offensive rebounds. They're not shooting it well, only 38%, but they're playing hard. They're getting on the glass, trying to get that second chance point.
Boston. Long three won't fall. Offensive rebound by Norcross, and that shot challenged by Omayori. Errant pass missed Pierre-Louis, and Whitney asking for some help on that one. Frustrated.
Omayori, broad shoulders, long arms. Once he puts his hand up, it's hard to see the rim. He does a great job of protecting the paint and the rim for Roselle Catholic.
What would you like to see him add to his game to move up the rankings?
Just make better free throws, percentage-wise.
Now a traveling violation called on Norcross. Roselle.
Most important thing for a big, the ability to score inside and to rebound. He does those 2 things fairly well. Love to see him step up his free throw game, get a higher percentage.
See, free throw is important. You know, you're not just talking about it with your grade school CYO coach. 23-18 the lead for Norcross. Got a good one here at the HoopHall Classic. Lisa Muhammad thought about that.
Great pass by Sturdivant. Really can see the floor.
Boston. Now Muhammad has to put it up. Challenge shot, and he hits from the elbow.
And Muhammad beat the shot clock, Joe. We have a shot clock here in the state of Massachusetts. One of 8 states in the country to utilize a shot clock, and just that possession was so smooth by Norcross.
A near steal, but still Boston with it. Rocks the baby to sleep.
Boston shows that superior athletic ability. 6'7". He's got what I call twitchability. He's got those fast twitch fibers.
Omayori lost it on the way up. It'll go down.
And another thing for Omayori, hands. He's got to improve his hands. Now that was a bad pass, but BJ Boston, this is just for a dunk contest. That was easy. Gave us a little showmanship on that one.
Saw him have a identical dunk against Montverde earlier this year as Muhammad unable to get that from mid-range. No dice early in the shot clock. I know you're a big fan of the shot clock. These 2 teams haven't needed it.
They haven't needed it because each coach plays the game the way it's supposed to be played. You know, they don't want to go up and down. They want to execute, but they're not holding the ball playing stall ball. They're running their offense.
Sturdivant, another tough shot.
And speaking of both coaches today on the phone, they're huge proponents of the shot clock. And Dave Boff made a great point. He says, you know, if the talent is equal, why wouldn't you want a shot clock in the game? If talent's not equal, you still have a chance to make comebacks with a shot clock.
Sure. Omayori almost tipped that in backhanded. But still the lead, 29-18 for Norcross. And a traveling violation called. That's a turnover on Jaden Harris.
There's so many reasons the high school game would be so much better off if we had a shot clock. Just think about it. In baseball, you have a pitch clock.
Sure.
Football, you have a play clock. We have a shot clock all over Europe with teenagers and club teams. High school basketball in the United States is the only organization that doesn't utilize a shot clock in the game of basketball. The women's game does. The women's pro game does.
What are some of the reasons for the holdout?
I think, you know, there's obviously an economic factor, but that's went down over the years. The price of a shot clock is so much cheaper right now.
Sturdivant hanging, finding, firing, and hitting is Isaac Martin.
The lefty can really shoot it. He's got Austin P., Florida Gulf Coast, and App State right now recruiting him.
Senior forward makes it 32-18 Norcross. Omayori splits the defense. Nice move to the hoop.
He's got great footwork. His hands got to improve. An incredible physique. He's got the footwork. That's a big part of it. Now the hands have to come with that.
Sturdivant, so tough in traffic.
Well, he's got the money shot. The little floater into the lane. It's one thing to make a pull-up jump shot outside the paint. It's another thing to make that floater in the lane. Sturdivant has that down. Impressive.
Whitney, how about that step away? And here's Muhammad. Whitney's been that close a bunch today. Good catch on that pass by Murphy, and a 3 Sturdivant. He's feeling it, but not that time.
Nice tip by Colby Rogers.
Transition game working to perfection for Khalil Whitney.
He's going to find points now. 2 in the white, headed to play for John Calipari at Kentucky. He is going to find buckets.
How does his game translate? Who could he be with some development?
I'm going to give you an answer on that in a little while. It's a great question. In terms of his game, he doesn't have the three-point shot down, but he has that inside the arc game.
How about that follow from Muhammad, rocking the rim?
Muhammad's getting some offers. Wake Forest, Iowa State, Maryland. He's starting to hit his stride right now.
Clemson,
yeah.
Florida.
You know what? He stays in the lane on both ends of the floor. That's smart, and that's effective.
Picked off by Murphy, and Pierre-Louis returns the favor. Long steps to the rim, and he settles it down just in time to score that one. Pierre-Louis got some good attacking moves to his game.
And the way UNLV plays, they love to play in transition game. He's great at pushing the ball off the floor, handing out the assist, and he can make the shot. This guy's a shooter.
Sure is. Isaac Martin, 2 for 2 from beyond the arc.
I love when guys go to their strength. You know, Martin knows he's a shooter. He spots up, he waits for it, he moves to get it, and he delivers.
Speaking of delivering, Pierre-Louis gave that one an attempt, and it hits the shot clock.
Yeah, Louis, I mean, he's an athlete. He's quick and fast. Speaking about quick and fast, Brandon Boston, quick, fast, with bounce in his legs. Top junior in the nation. Norcross up.
Halftime here at the HoopHall Classic. This is game number 4 on day 3, and you take a look at our star comparison. BJ Boston with Khalil Whitney.
Well, Boston shooting it well, and from 3. Whitney struggling from the field and from the three-point line, just not going in. What he needs to do, Whitney, get to the free throw line. When you're not shooting the ball well and you're considered a big-time scoring player, get yourself to the free throw line. But Boston, he's doing it from the outside, he's doing it in transition, and he has a sweet pull-up game.
Speaking of a pull-up, that's a nice catch and shoot hit for Norcross, and they're getting everything going. Greaves running the show for Norcross, or for Roselle Catholic, rather. Pulls up, just short on the tray. And here's Boston coming the other way. Another triple, that one long from Murphy. And Greaves charges ahead. Throw it to an open corner. But Roselle Catholic able to recover. Rogers as the clock ticks down toward 1 minute. Greaves. Now a foul called underneath.
All right, Joe, I have your answer.
I'm ready.
Khalil Whitney, Jaylen Brown from the Celtics. 2 outstanding athletes. Now, he's not the athlete that Jaylen Brown is, but he's close. But they both struggled from the three-point line in high school, and they were just deadly inside the arc.
Working on the post game as well.
Whitney has a few more inches on Jaylen Brown. But we see by watching Jaylen Brown with the Celtics how his three-point shot has improved. He's a corner 3 guy now, top of the key, three-point shooter. Great in transition, great in the pull-up game, the drive game. I mean, this guy just destroys you when he drives to the basket. Big Blue Nation is going to love the way he can get buckets next year, because you put a 2-guard on him, he's going to punish him inside. He's too strong for small forwards, and he's too elite for bigs.
Inside 40 seconds to go in the half. Ball nearly bounced to Omayori, but it's a steal for Norcross. Boston ahead of the pack, but Whitney steals it away. And Whitney all the way in, long steps, no dice. And Murphy charging ahead gets fouled. Whitney's been that close a bunch this afternoon.
He's got a little bit of Nazir Little in him too. The body, the physicality as a wing. Again, not a good outside shooter in the high school game. Best at the rim, excellent from the mid-range. Coach Boff yelling, let's go.
Timeout called by Norcross as they lead 41-24 over Roselle Catholic. And Roselle Catholic's undefeated record very much in jeopardy here in the first half. take a look at the zone chart for the Norcross Blue Devils. Powered by Shot Tracker. There you go. It's all on one side pretty much.
Yeah, well, it's all in the paint. Look at that, 7 for 10. Then you step out to the long paint, they call it, 4 for 5. Go to the left a little bit, 6 for 8. You stay in that paint area, that short paint, long paint, your percentage will be better.
That's where Kyle Sturdivant's been doing a whole lot of his damage. This is a good matchup. Pierre-Louis and Sturdivant running the point for their respective teams.
It's just a great matchup of two giants in the high school game. I mean, these guys have seen it all. They've done it all in the summer circuit. High-level coaches. As I mentioned, 10 Division I players in this game, 4 of which are high major caliber. Nobody's afraid in this game. It's just Norcross is playing great at both ends of the floor. They're scrappy and aggressive on defense. Shooting the ball at a high clip right now, too.
This guy's been a big part of that. Boston lets it fly and hits that one. Are you serious? Boston, unlimited range.
Hey, Sports Center top 10. 2 seconds plus on the clock. Take a look at this one. This was beautiful by Brandon Boston. 1-2 dribble, pull up, half ending, splash.
Gives his team a 44-24 lead. Well, Boston's been getting it done from the outside, but we've seen some good old-fashioned throwdowns as well. Maybe none sweeter than the show that Boston has put on. Pierre-Louis getting into the act as well. But how about this one? Rock the baby to sleep, BJ Boston. Third quarter just about to begin as Norcross and BJ Boston lead Roselle Catholic 44-24 with Paul Biancardi, Joe Torti here with you. And you take a look at what Boston's done. He's been impressive in the first half.
Top junior in the nation. That was deep. That was from Boston. This was the warm-up dunk. And how about this one? This one could win a dunk contest. Little rock in the cradle with the finish. And this one at the end of the buzzer. Big-time shot by BJ Boston.
Guy is just oozing with potential. You take a look at his zone chart powered by Shot Tracker. His range is pretty unlimited.
His range is great. He's terrific at the rim. Where he's got to get better is outside the paint and inside the arc. You see him 0 for 1 on the blue, 1 for 1 inside that paint. For that blue area, that's the mid-range game. He's got to develop that.
12 first half points for the junior. Pretty remarkable player, collecting all kinds of big-time offers. He's just really scratching the surface of what he can do.
Scratching the paint right off the Ferrari. I mean, this kid has unlimited upside because look at his body. I mean, he's got 20 pounds of muscle to put on. He's young in the game. He still has habits that can change. He plays upright a little bit. When he starts to live a little bit lower in the game, you're going to see his defense pick up. I love the way he can read the game. He understands when to give it up, when to get a bucket. And that outside jump shot, one of the best in the junior class.
Made a really good play to pass it on the 2-on-1 as well. As here's Roselle Catholic and Pierre-Louis dumping it down low. Fortunate Karam right to Colby Rogers. Rogers inside the arc and hits.
Catholic needs some points so they can set their defense.
Yeah, buckets hard to come by for the Lions in the first half. Khalil Whitney defending on the ball. Caleb Murphy with it for Norcross. A lot of contact, and it goes out of bounds off of Whitney. Omayori challenging that shot.
Now for Whitney to get going in the second half, offensively, needs to get to the free throw line. Just needs more attempts. Hasn't had many attempts so far in this game.
Speaking of attempts, there's a splash down from Boston. He picks up right where he left off. Whitney gets free. A little short again.
Yeah, to be exact, Khalil Whitney has not been to the line, so he's got to take it and get fouled. Or he's got to post up, he's got to cut.
Sturdivant stares down that triple.
Sturdivant has been tremendous in this game. Just plays like a senior.
Pierre-Louis can't get the leaner to go, and now it'll go down to Norcross. Yeah, Boston's been grabbing a lot of the headlines, deservedly so, but Sturdivant's been such a steadying presence.
In the high school game, if you're going to be a top team in the nation like Norcross is, you have to have a 1-2 punch.
And here's maybe the 3 in Isa Muhammad.
He's been coming on. That's a good call, Joe. He's been much more active as a senior this year. And sometimes guys just have to wait till they get a little bit older. How about that pull-up?
Big time move, but no finish. Whitney finds Pierre-Louis.
If Boston knows how to create that space and elevate, it's that mid-range touch. That's the toughest shot in the game from about 10 to 15 feet.
Omayori gets whacked by Sturdivant on that entry pass. Yeah, created the space. Sturdivant picks up his 3rd. Omayori has it poked away from him, but able to regain it. And a splash from Colby Rogers. He's dangerous from the outside.
Over 40% this year behind the arc for Rogers.
Drawing interest from Robert Morris, Wagner, and JIT.
The way the game's being played today with the 3-point shot, size doesn't matter as long as you can stroke.
No question. Here's Whitney putting it up and stepping outside, showing a little bit of versatility in his game, Paul.
You see how he just took that one more step right inside the arc because he was eyeing the defender. He wanted that 2-point shot. He's not comfortable from 3. He's confident from 2.
And obviously, you talk about guys who need to be able to step out. Jalen Brown adding that to his game. You mentioned him as a comp for Whitney. If he adds that mid-range shot, talking about a downright dangerous player. 18-point lead for Norcross. Boston, a step-back tray. Holy smokes, this guy.
That's an NBA move. The ability to come off the handoff, put it on the deck, the step back, the rise up, and the knockdown. Beautiful.
Here's Whitney. Rogers muscling his way in. Graves able to track it down. Head of steam to the hoop, and Graves finishes with the left.
Nice idea by Graves. Shot clock was winding down. Just take it to the basket, make something happen. He found the lane.
Trying to keep Roselle Catholic in contact. Here's Boston, really likes that right side. Wow, Boston kicks, and Sturdivant in and out.
You see the guard skills, the point guard skills of B.J. Boston.
Active hands on that Norcross defense. Nice job by Martin, and ahead of the pack, Sturdivant gets it poked away by Pierre-Louis. You called it an NBA move. Here's a look at that one from B.J. Boston.
Comes off the flip, the step, the back, the rise, the quick release, and then the NBA range to finish it off. B.J. Boston on his way to greatness.
Sturdivant. Nothing on the teardrop. Lob, and Whitney. That would have brought the house down. But it's out of bounds. It'll go down to Norcross.
Yeah, I thought Louis had to wait one more second and lead Whitney to the rim a little bit more. When you're throwing alley-oops, not that I've ever caught one, but it's got to be more towards the rim.
Muhammad. And Omayori thought he came away with a clean block. Officials disagree. Take one more look at that move that sets B.J. Boston apart. And here's a completely new look at it. Boston making it rain in Massachusetts. 3:49 to go in the third quarter. Norcross all over Roselle Catholic with ESPN's National Recruiting Director Paul Biancardi. Joe Torti here with you. You take a look at the comparison between these two. No secret, Norcross making a lot more shots, especially from beyond.
And of those 22 field goals, 13 are assisted, which shows me they're really giving it up to each other. Playing a low turnover game. Roselle Catholic, 10 turnovers. The bright spot for Roselle Catholic, they are hitting the glass. They have 8 offensive rebounds. The downside, they only have 2 second chance points off the 8 offensive rebounds. Not good at all. They're not shooting it from the outside. But their fight has been good, but their skill has been bad today. Their execution, their skill, their cohesiveness, not there.
Pretty dominating performance as Muhammad goes 2 for 2 from the line. Talk about a Norcross team as talented probably as any team in Georgia and any team in this classic.
Maybe any team in the country. That's how good they are. Great back door.
And Whitney stepped on the line.
But I love the way Whitney read the defense. The defender wouldn't let him come out, so he cuts back door. Right idea. Again, poor execution.
Murphy has Greaves in his hip pocket. And Murphy draws the foul.
Good on-ball defense by Graves.
Charged with the foul there. He was all over him. Second foul called on him.
Whitney trying to get up on Boston.
He doesn't work either. B.J. Boston raining it down from the outside.
I don't think the ball has hit the rim when B.J. Boston has shot it and made it. The threes, the pull-ups, it's been pure swish.
Amayori almost got that one to fall. Nice leave inside, but he goes out of bounds and down to Roselle Catholic. And this time it was Khalil Whitney, good defender on B.J. Boston.
Now he laid on the screen. You got to get over that screen and push Boston down. Another pure three-point shot by Boston.
Pierre Louis finds Graves in the corner.
I like the way Greaves just gets into the lane. He's not afraid.
He's got a quick burst there. And here he comes again. Keeps it alive.
Oh,
Whitney.
great tip out, yes.
Pierre Louis, splash down.
They needed that one. Louis, lightning quick, great foot speed. He can make that open three, he can get to the rack. He's got to get some points on the board for his team.
He's been a bright spot for Roselle Catholic so far. Good agility. And a finger roll won't fall, but a foul called as Caleb Murphy tried to go coast to coast.
Well, he's a name that people need to keep an eye on. Just a junior, 6'3", really explosive as a combo guard. Drives it hard, he's tough, he knows how to split gaps. I forecast him as having a big offseason. Be one of the top seniors possibly in the country in the state of Georgia.
Hits the first. Right now, team sniffing around Tulane, Little Rock, Kennesaw State, East Tennessee State.
Coach McMillan very high on Caleb Murphy.
Pushes the lead to 58-36 for Norcross. Whitney calling for a screen.
Whitney's not really a ball handler. He doesn't create with the handle. He's a 1 or 2 dribble guy right now. If he can't get something after that second bounce, he's got to look to give it up.
Ball's poked away into the hands of Whitney.
Very good straight line driver, though.
Step back and hits. A long two again.
Again, the long two, the rhythm dribble into the pull-up. That's where he's best. He loves to shoot it off the dribble. That helps him get a little bit of room and rhythm into that shot. And with that length and size, it's tough to guard from two.
Omayori had to poked away from him in Boston. Look what I found.
Think about the future for this Norcross team. Brandon Boston, Caleb Murphy. They'll be leading the charge next year for Norcross.
And they're in good hands, no question. Approaching 1 minute to go in the third quarter. Whitney down the lane. Toughly contested. You can see all of the attention that he commands when he drives.
And Whitney's got to learn how, when he gets into the lane, commands the attention you talked about. There's got to be a kick out, a spray out. You got to look to give it up. And it's a little bit of tunnel vision at times for a lot of these high school players.
Boston comes to get it. Leaning, fading, and just can't get that one to fall. Whitney. Brought it up the floor the last 3 times and has it poked away.
Now he dribbled that one into traffic. Defender did a great job, but if you watch Whitney, he's got somebody on him. He dribbles to the help. The help took it away. You only want to drive the ball into open gaps. If not, you got to learn how to reverse it and trust that it'll come back to you.
61-38 the lead for Norcross. And Paul, you look at these two teams and you talk about all of the talent that Norcross brings to bear. They're really executing well. Not only are they getting those open shots, they're converting them.
And they're playing defense. Roselle Catholic, a very talented team offensively.
And defensively there in the case of Greaves.
This guy's fast.
And a shot launch, Pierre-Louis. Poked away out of bounds, it'll stay here.
Seems like all the jump shots for Roselle Catholic, short.
Yeah.
You know, front rim.
You mentioned 14-0, they played a lot of games.
I don't know if it's their legs, the defense from Norcross, but a lot of their shots have hit the front of the rim.
Pierre-Louis leaves it inside. Omayori with the flush.
Not that one. That was over the rim.
And one. He heads to the free throw line. Let's get another look at this.
The big fella looks like a mountain. Look how high he gets up. His hand was up by the square when he was ready to punch it.
Jump from outside the paint.
And again, Omayori stays in the paint, short corner, the blocks. He knows where he can impact the game, and his teammates do a good job of finding him.
Free throws somehow stay out.
Oh, great job.
No dice on the bunny, though.
Omayori, work on that free throw all summer long because you're going to be at the line a lot in your career.
Sturdivant floats it, 10 seconds to shoot for Norcross, and a timeout called by the Blue Devils. Looking at that Omayori free throw, that touched literally every part of the goal without going in. You know that if he can add that to his game, it'll be a big-time boon. And on that Norcross side, Jesse McMillan's got to be happy with what he's seen so far from his group.
And he's had some talent over the years as an assistant coach and a head coach. They've had Al Farouk-Amino, who's with the Portland Trail Blazers right now, Jeremy Lamb with Charlotte. They've had a lot of talent in this program over the years. In the state of Georgia, you look at schools like Wheeler, Southwest Macon, McEachern is going to be on tomorrow, on Monday. Pebblebrook High School. These schools are nationally known.
Iron sharpens iron in that state, there's no doubt about it. Inside 5 seconds to go, Sturdivant. And that won't go. That was too late from Daniel Ramsey. Let's take a look at B.J. Boston doing work from all over the court. He's been the difference in this one. Lucky, good, doesn't matter. B.J. Boston has been getting it done all over the place. Dominant performance from Norcross and B.J. Boston in particular. Paul Biancardi getting a whole lot of that done inside, outside. His game's really expanded as this game's gone on.
Well, the #1 junior in the state of Georgia. Tremendous behind the arc. He's got good foot fakes to create space. Outstanding at the rim. And the middle game is much improved. That's called a 3-level scorer. And how about the back cut he just made? He moves without the ball. Look at him move to get the ball.
Gonna love to see the shot tracker stats on how far he's run in this game.
Great pass by Sturdivant. Just that extra pass.
Graves, good vision. Thrown to an empty corner, though, as there was a miscommunication from Rogers and Pierre-Louis.
See, the effort by Roselle Catholic is outstanding, but you have transition, you have space, you have numbers, you got to convert. The ball's been thrown out of bounds. They've stepped out of bounds when they've had opportunities near the rim. So it's not a lack of effort. It's just been a lack of execution today.
Corey Floyd Jr. checks in as Graves takes a seat.
Yeah, his dad played at Providence, 1990-91. For Rick Barnes, Corey Floyd. See, you stick with me, Joe, you're going to learn a lot.
Going to learn a ton.
That's because I was in the Big East then.
Floyd, a freshman, getting some run here. Muhammad just misses on that. He's hit from that exact same spot earlier, so you know it's in the game.
We talked about Floyd, 12 in the white. Good-looking freshman. Athletic, can make shots. His dad played on a heck of a team at Providence with Dickie Simpkins, Michael Smith, Rob Phelps, right from New York. Coached by Rick Barnes.
And that guy might work out as a coach. Here's Muhammad.
Built Tennessee, top 5 program in the nation. They thought he was retired.
Whoa, going upstairs, B.J. Boston.
This guy just beats you with a smile on his face, doesn't he?
You can tell that he's really enjoying himself here with a big lead, 23 points over Roselle Catholic.
He makes the game look easy, and he looks like he's having a lot of fun when he's doing it.
Ahmad Robinson controlling for Roselle. Gets the pass back, and Boston bothered that shot from behind.
Yeah, Boston has great wingspan. He's 6'7" in height. His wingspan has to be close to 6'9", 6'10". And he's long, very long. It's all legs right now. And the ball skills are advanced. Shot clock.
Yeah, down to 6. I know you're a big fan of the shot clock. Norcross probably not right now. And a foul call.
B.J. Boston. Sturdivant puts it nice and soft. How about on the money by Sturdivant? Right over half court. B.J. Boston loves to live by the rim. He can handle it on the outside. He's very comfortable with the ball in his hands. He's got that herky-jerky game.
Just unable to finish, but Muhammad there for the follow.
And I'm so impressed with Boston. The ball skills, the shooting range, the passing vision, and of course, the vertical.
Pierre-Louis answers on the other end. Yeah, Boston seems like a guy who, offensively especially, doesn't really have any holes in the game.
No, he could throw an alley-oop, and obviously we know he's a lob catcher. Great versatility in that young man from Georgia.
Blocking foul called down low as Sturdivant was trying to navigate traffic.
Now Boston, he's number 15 in the ESPN 60, which is the junior class. Our rankings come out next Wednesday. He's a guy with a performance like this, and based on what he's done this year so far, he has a chance to be a riser in that class.
If there were something that you were going to try to add to Boston's game or tell them what to work on, what would it be?
Yeah. Weight, get stronger, and that happens naturally over time. I'd love to see him be a better defender, love to see him get stronger, but as far as his offensive game goes, I wouldn't touch it because it's improving.
And it's all working right now.
And his shot selection is good. He's not he's not hunting shots.
Offensive follow, and Whitney able to finish up. He's had kind of a quiet second half, but Whitney, you can tell, trying to keep his team in it.
You know, he just laid it in. I would have thought maybe he would have tried to flush that one, pound it, push it, punch it, whatever you want to say. Just kind of let out a little frustration. Kind of shows me his legs are not into this game, maybe.
Foul called underneath.
His shots were, in the first half, they were all kind of short. I expected Khalil Whitney to really put that one down. He's got his hands on his knees, which is a classic sign of an athlete who's tired. You know, sometimes fatigue sets in mentally. Your legs just become mush.
Well, a team like Roselle Catholic, you know you're getting everybody's best shot every single time you're going out there, and Whitney's a centerpiece to what they do. He's shouldering a ton of the load for Dave Boff's side.
Yeah, Dave Boff does a great job putting him in isolations, running him off screens. You know, he has the ultimate green light. Just got to be careful with the dribble. Sometimes Whitney's got to understand it's best to give it up and then get it back versus trying to force something.
B.J. Boston now up to 26 points, getting it done from the free throw line.
And he looks fresh.
Yeah, he sure does. Sturdivant will settle things down for Norcross.
You know, Dave Boff told me on the phone, my team plays hard. I don't have to coach effort.
Nice backdoor cut by Boston, but no connection. That's not true, though, moments ago as B.J. Boston collected the feed from Sturdivant and knew exactly where to put it. Two hands on the jam. B.J. Boston has been tremendous for Norcross. 67-45, the Blue Devils lead. You take a look, literally can't miss from certain spots, Paul Biancardi.
He's been outstanding. He's dominated this game, and he's been efficient. 9 for 15 overall, 4 for 5 from 3, 2 for 2 from the line. Even has 2 dimes and 1 turnover.
Brought to us by Shot Tracker. Going to be here all weekend long with the HoopHall Classic. Omoyori has it poked away.
Yeah, that's where his hands got to get better. He's got to do a lot of work pre-practice.
Sturdivant looked like he lost that one on the way up and kind of batted it in the hoop. Talk about the talent that's just oozing out of the state of Georgia right now. We're going to see more of it later tonight. Whitney is able to hit that one.
He's so good in space, and he's so good from that middle game. And he's going to improve that three-point shot. It's there. I've seen it all summer. But teams at the high school game, you know, they scout a little different than the summertime. Not a lot of scouting in summer basketball, if you don't know that. But in high school ball, they try to take away what you do best. Can't take that guy away.
In and then out for B.J. Boston. Rare miss from the perimeter.
I talked to earlier. He's got wiggle in his dribble.
No doubt.
He can get you leaning right and go left. He can go either way, and that's the sign of a great offensive player. Watch offensive players, see if they can go either way. Nice give and go.
And Sturdivant almost able to finish through the harm. You take a look at the ESPN 100 top 5.
There's some talent right there. There's a lot of money right there someday. James Wiseman, the #1 player in the country. We're going to see Cole Anthony tomorrow night, 7:30 on ESPN. And Anthony Edwards, 7:30 tonight, ESPN Plus. And if you haven't seen Anthony Edwards play, and a lot of people haven't, because he reclassified from the junior year to the senior year. Strong, thick, explosive two-guard. In fact, the #1 two-guard in the nation. He can put up points big time. #1 player in the state of Georgia. Tonight, 7:30, we have the #1 player in the state of Georgia in the junior class here in B.J. Boston. Edwards, the #1 senior in the state of Georgia. I would say if I'm a college basketball coach, go recruit in the state of Georgia.
Pick up some peaches, pick up some players.
Come on, Tom Crean. Come on, Josh Pastner. You got to get these guys. You got to keep them home.
.235 to go in the 4th quarter. Nice lead for Pierre Lewis. Second effort up and in for Roselle. Josh Rivera able to finish it off.
Louis with a pretty drop pass.
Clock ticking down towards 2 minutes to go. It's been all Norcross in this one. Nice give and go again, but read beautifully by Roselle Catholic. And Rogers ahead of the pack. Nearly a putback stuff. And here comes Ramsey. Martin able to track it down, but not save it safely. Now ahead of the pack, Pierre Louis takes it in with 2 hands.
And I love Roselle Catholic. They're not playing the score. They know this game's over. They're playing the game. Dave Buff mentioned to me, this team plays hard. I don't have to coach effort. I just got to coach basketball. Execution, skills, strategy. And that's what you want as a coach.
B.J. Boston has brought all that to the fold as well. Offensive foul called on Ramsey over the back. Yeah, Boston, he's ice cold now. He missed 2. You know, I don't know what everybody sees in this guy at this point.
When I look into his eyes, nothing affects this young man. He can make 3 threes or miss 2 shots. He's going to keep playing the game. He has a wonderful next play mentality. I see a lot of joy in his face when he plays. Even when he doesn't play well, he's happy.
He's been a dynamo today.
Oh, great dime.
Absolutely. And the finish at the rim for Rivera again. That'll increase the shooting percentage.
Yeah, Louis with 2 nice dimes.
He's been the floor general for Roselle Catholic. 3-star prospect. And the scooping score up and in by Caleb Murphy. Now a timeout call. Murphy's definitely going to be one to watch, for sure.
I like him in the future. He's a mid-major player right now. See him as a high major minus in the future, maybe a 4-star guy. But back to Brandon Boston.
Sure.
I'll tell you what's really impressive. He plays the game with great pace. He understands how to slow down. A lot of young players, they play so fast that expression, they're playing like a chicken with their head cut off. Not Boston. He's intense, but he knows how to slow himself down. And that's a sign of a mature player. And just to be a junior with athleticism and length and ball skills, that's what makes him special.
And it looks like that might be the end of his evening as well, as he'll sit out the last minute and 1 second Tremendous performance, 26 points from B.J. Boston.
Look at it. He wants to smile. He doesn't look tired. He wants to get back in the game. Roselle Catholic, they'll regroup. They've seen tough teams from New Jersey, but they just haven't seen talent like Norcross. And the thing about Norcross, they play hard on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, the effort's been there for them.
Yeah, and the extra pass on offense, I love it. They push the ball hard. They move the ball well. And they get after you defensively.
Harris has it poked away by Greaves. Greaves changes gears and lays it in.
I just got to say that the two coaches in this game with Dave Boff and Jess McMillan, I see a lot of high school ball. These are two tremendous high school coaches that have been doing it for a long time.
Inside 10 seconds to go. Don't forget, we've got game 3 of our coverage today. Olive Branch Gonzaga coming up in about 15 minutes after this game concludes.
DJ Jeffries going to Memphis, 5-star player. You've got to watch him, folks.
Paul will be back with us at 7:30, so enjoy the brief breather.
Little Dunkin' Donuts break.
Step aside. Norcross takes care of Roselle Catholic by 20. B.J. Boston leads the way. Big time score, 26 points. And that'll put the bow on this one.